After spending decades working with older adults, there is one pattern that never stops bothering me. I have seen people the same age, both in their mid to late 70s, both living independently, both walking every single day, yet only one of them continues to live confidently into their 80s, the other slowly begins to lose balance, then strength, then confidence. And what surprises most people is this: the difference is almost never motivation, it is rarely genetics, and it is almost never luck. It comes down to something far simpler and far more uncomfortable to accept. Walking alone is no longer enough after 75. Now, before you stop listening, let me be very clear. Walking is not bad. Walking keeps your heart working. It helps circulation, it helps mood, and it helps keep joints moving. But here is the part most seniors are never told. Walking keeps you alive. It does not keep you strong. And after the age of 75, strength is what determines independence. If you are watching this, chances are you walk. Maybe every morning, maybe every evening, and somewhere in the back of your mind you believe, as long as I keep walking, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That belief is extremely common, and after 75, it becomes dangerously incomplete. Because aging does not take away your ability to move first. It takes away your ability to recover, it weakens the small stabilizing muscles, it slows nerve response, it reduces balance reflexes, and it quietly erodes the strength needed for everyday actions. Standing up, stepping off a curb, turning quickly, catching yourself when you stumble. Walking does not train those systems. From a scientific standpoint, walking is a repetitive, low-challenge movement. Your feet lift only a few centimeters off the ground. But your balance reactions are barely tested. Your nervous system stays mostly on autopilot. That is fine at 55. It is not enough at 75. Research following adults into their late 70s, 80s, and even 90s found something that shocked many clinicians. Daily step count did not predict independence. It did not predict fall risk. And it did not predict who would remain mobile. What did? A small set of very specific movements. Movements that look simple, almost boring. But that challenged the exact systems that decline first with age: balance reflexes, hip control, core stability, leg power, postural strength. These are the systems that protect you when life does not go smoothly, and life rarely does. After 75, most falls do not happen while walking straight ahead. They happen when turning, when reaching, when standing up, when stepping onto something uneven, or when reacting just a fraction of a second too slowly. Walking never prepares you for those moments. And that is why some people who walk every day still begin to shuffle, still feel unsteady, still hesitate before standing up, still need to grab furniture, still fear falling even if they do not talk about it. And that fear changes how you live. You move less, you avoid stairs, you avoid uneven ground. You stop doing things you once enjoyed, not because you are weak, but because the systems that protect you were never trained. Here is the hopeful part. Your body does not stop responding after 75. It simply responds to different signals. You no longer need more movement, you need more specific movement. In this video, I'm going to reveal 5 surgeon-approved exercises that protect your body better than walking alone after 75. Not to replace walking, but to fill in what walking can no longer provide. We will rank them from least important to most critical, and I strongly encourage you to stay until the end. Some because the number 2 and number 1 exercises surprised researchers, and they continue to surprise older adults who regain confidence they thought was gone forever. If you want to explore the medical research behind these recommendations, I have included the studies in the description. Everything discussed here is evidence-based and widely accepted in modern orthopedic and geriatric care. Before we continue, let me ask you a simple question. Where are you watching from today? Leave it in the comments. I read them personally whenever I can. Now let's begin. We start with number 5, the exercise most seniors have never been shown, even though it quietly prepares your body for safer movement every single day. Let's begin with number 5. This is the exercise many seniors dismiss too quickly, because it looks simple, almost too simple to matter. Number 5, seated marching. At first glance, seated marching does not look impressive. You are sitting, you are lifting one knee at a time, there is no sweat, no heavy effort, no dramatic movement, and that is exactly why it works so well after 75. The muscles this exercise targets are the hip flexors. These muscles are responsible for lifting your leg forward. They control foot clearance, and they are critical for preventing what doctors call a shuffling gait, that slow, dragging walk where the feet barely leave the ground. Here is something most people do not realize. When you walk normally, your hip flexors only activate at a very low level. Your foot does not need to lift high. Just the movement is repetitive, and over time, the brain stops fully engaging the muscles. Seated marching is different. When you lift your knee while sitting, the hip flexors must work through their full range. They must lift, hold, and control the descent. That combination sends a much stronger signal to both the muscle and the nervous system. Researchers studying older adults found that seated marching activates the hip flexors far more effectively than walking. And stronger hip flexors directly translate into safer walking, less dragging, faster reaction time, better balance when stepping. This is why some seniors feel steadier after just a few weeks. Not because they walked more, but because their legs learned how to lift again. Here is how to do it correctly. Sit tall in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, back straight, shoulders relaxed. Slowly lift your right knee as high as feels comfortable. Do not rush. Hold it for 1 second, then lower it with control. Now lift the left knee. Same movement, same control. Alternate sides, 1 second up, 1 second down. You are not trying to move fast, you are training control. Aim for 20 lifts on each side. That is 40 total. If that feels like too much at first, start with fewer. Consistency matters more than perfection. Many people do this while watching television. That is fine, as long as your posture stays upright. As this becomes easier, you can increase the hold at the top. 2 seconds, then 3. That small change dramatically increases strength. Now, seated marching builds leg lift, but it does not address something equally important: upper body strength. And that brings us to number 4, wall push-ups. This is where many seniors are surprised because most people believe upper body strength does not matter much for aging. The research says otherwise. Studies following adults over 75 found that upper body weakness strongly predicts loss of independence, not because arms help you walk, but because arms help you recover. They help you catch yourself, they help you push up, they help you get up after a fall. They help you support your body when balance is lost. Walking does not train this. Wall push-ups are one of the safest and most effective ways to maintain upper body strength after 75. They strengthen the chest, the shoulders, the arms, and the core, all without stressing the joints. Here is how to do them properly. Stand facing a wall. Step back so your arms are extended. Place your palms on the wall at shoulder height, hands about shoulder width apart. Keep your body straight. No bending at the hips. Slowly bend your elbows. Bring your chest toward the wall. Your nose should come close to touching, then push yourself back to the starting position. Slowly, with control. 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up. Most people stand too close to the wall. That makes the exercise too easy. If you do not feel your arms and chest working, step back slightly. Start with 2 sets of 10, rest between sets. Over time, work toward 3 sets of 15. As you get stronger, you can move your feet farther from the wall, but only if you can maintain good form. One small adjustment makes a big difference. At the bottom of the movement, gently squeeze your shoulder blades together. This activates the upper back, improves posture, and reduces strain on the shoulders. Now we have worked leg lift and upper body strength, but there is one system still missing: the muscles along the back of your body, the ones responsible for posture. This brings us to number 3, resistance band rows. The posterior chain includes the muscles of the upper back, the spine stabilizers, and the muscles that keep you upright. As we age, these muscles weaken faster than we realize. That is why many seniors develop a forward-leaning posture, rounded shoulders, a downward gaze. Walking does not strengthen these muscles. In fact, it often reinforces the imbalance. Resistance band rows directly target this problem. They strengthen the muscles that pull your shoulders back, support your spine, and allow you to stand taller with less effort. You will need a resistance band. Start with light resistance. Sit in a sturdy chair. Place the band under both feet. Hold one handle in each hand. Sit tall. Chest lifted. Shoulders relaxed. Pull the handles toward your rib cage. elbows close to your sides. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Hold for 1 second, then slowly release. The movement should come from your upper back, not your neck, not your arms alone. Imagine tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Perform 12 to 15 repetitions. Rest. Complete 3 sets. Every other day is enough. Avoid shrugging your shoulders. Keep them down, relaxed. As you improve, add a longer hold at the top, 2 to 3 seconds. This builds endurance, which helps posture last throughout the day. With seated marching, wall push-ups, and resistance band rows, you have now trained leg lift, upper body strength, and posture. But none of these directly train the most critical movement of independence. Standing up. That is why number 2 is so important, and it is where many people notice the biggest change. We will cover that next. Now we arrive at number 2. This is the exercise that quietly separates seniors who remain independent from those who slowly begin to rely on others. Number 2, chair squats. This movement may look ordinary. You have stood up from a chair thousands of times in your life, but after 75, this simple action becomes one of the most important indicators of survival. Researchers studying aging found something deeply unsettling. Adults who cannot stand up from a seated position without using their hands are far more likely to lose independence within just a few years. Not because the legs suddenly fail, but because the muscles that coordinate strength, balance, and control stop working together. Walking does not train this movement. Walking uses momentum. Standing up requires force, control, and coordination. Chair squats train all 3 at the same time. They strengthen the quadriceps and the front of the thighs. They activate the glute muscles. They engage the core. And they retrain your nervous system to coordinate these muscles as one unit. This is why chair squats are so powerful. Here is how to do them safely. Stand in front of a sturdy chair, feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned outward. Extend your arms forward for balance. Slowly lower yourself toward the chair. Do not drop. Take 3 to 4 seconds. Let your hips move back. Let your knees bend naturally. When your hips lightly touch the chair, pause for 1 second. Do not sit fully. Then press through your heels and stand back up. Slowly. With control. That is 1 repetition. Start with 5. Rest. Then repeat once more. If you need to use your hands lightly at first, that is fine. Safety always comes first. As strength improves, reduce hand support. Eventually aim for 10 repetitions without using your hands. One critical detail matters here. Push through your heels, not your toes. Pushing through the heels activates the glute muscles and reduces stress on the knees. Pushing through the toes shifts stress forward and increases instability. As this movement becomes easier, you will notice something important. Standing from chairs feels smoother. Getting out of a car feels easier. You no longer hesitate before standing. That hesitation is often the first sign of declining confidence. Chair squats reverse it, but even chair squats are not the most powerful exercise on this list. That brings us to number 1. This is the exercise that shocked researchers and changed how doctors view aging. Number 1. Single leg balance holds. At first, this sounds too simple to matter, standing on one leg, but long-term studies tell a very different story. Researchers followed adults over 70 for more than a decade. They discovered that those who could not stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds had a dramatically higher risk of falls, loss of independence, and even early death. This was not about strength alone. It was about balance systems. Balance is controlled by small stabilizing muscles in the ankles, the knees, the hips, and by the nervous system. Walking does not train these systems effectively because when you walk, you always have at least one foot on the ground. Life does not work that way. Falls happen when weight shifts unexpectedly, when you turn, when you reach, when you step over something. Single leg balance prepares your body for these moments. Here is how to practice it safely. Stand next to a sturdy surface, a countertop, a heavy chair, something you can grab if needed. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Lift your left foot just a few inches off the ground. Keep your posture tall. Eyes looking forward, breathing steady. Hold as long as you can, even 3 to 5 seconds as a start, and then switch sides. I'll practice this several times a day. While brushing your teeth, waiting for the microwave, standing in the kitchen. As you improve, lighten your grip. Use 2 fingers, then 1, then hover your hand nearby. Eventually aim for 10 seconds, then 20, then 30. One powerful progression comes later. Once you can hold for 30 seconds with your eyes open, try closing your eyes for a few seconds. This forces your nervous system to work harder and dramatically improves automatic balance reactions. This single exercise trains the exact systems that protect you when something unexpected happens. That is why many doctors now consider single leg balance a vital sign of aging. As important as blood pressure, as important as heart rate. Now take a moment and look at what you have learned. Walking keeps you moving, but these 5 exercises keep you independent. Seated marching restores leg lift. Wall push-ups build recovery strength. Resistance band rows support posture. Chair squats protect your ability to rise. Single leg balance preserves your stability. Together, they form a complete system. You do not need to stop walking. Walking still matters, but walking alone is not enough after 75. These movements fill the gaps walking cannot reach, and the most important part is this. Your body is not finished. Your nervous system can still adapt. Your muscles can still respond. Independence does not disappear overnight, it fades quietly, unless you interrupt the process. These exercises are how you interrupt it. Before you leave, tell me in the comments, which exercise felt the most challenging for you? I read every comment, and your answers help guide what we share next. If this video helped you understand your body better, subscribe to the channel. We share calm, science-based guidance to help you move with confidence at any age. Thank you for staying with me. And remember, strength after 75 is not about intensity. It is about precision, consistency, and respecting how your body truly works.